Modern dating can be awesome. Two people meet, it goes one way or another, and before you know it, someone is talking to themselves in text messages because they were ghosted. This week, we welcome the ladies from the relationship podcast, Wasband Recovery.
I'm Norah.
And I'm Madelyn.
I'm Matt.
I'm Chad, and you're listening to the 106th episode of We Used to Talk About This at Work. All right, so quick housekeeping note here. Next week's episode is going to be released a day early because we have a Mother's Day bonus episode coming out on that Sunday. So, we want to give that episode a little room to breathe. And, I feel like you guys might enjoy that one. This is going to be a good one now, but next week is going to be interesting. But so we have two of the three ladies from the Wasband Recovery podcast. The third person is on her way now, so she's gonna hop in. So let's get a little information. Like, who are you ladies? Like, what is this podcast? Like, what is what?
You want to take the lead, Mads?
Sure. So the three of us were all going through divorces at the same time. We all have different perspectives, different kinds of things, different reasons for the divorce. And we would talk to each other for support and joke around about things. We started talking over the summers about writing a book, and it was all kind of a joke, and what we would name each chapter and how it would be like a self-help book, or maybe it would be a how-to book, and we just weren't sure. And then we thought, maybe we're not so good at writing, so we are good at talking. And then we thought we'd start a podcast, and it's a lot of us just talking about what we went through.
You guys didn't want to just talk it out and like just make your podcast an audiobook or something?
No, we decided we didn't have the bandwidth. Like, all of us are busy as hell. We got a lot of shit going on. And so we're like, we could probably do this an hour at a time. And it's always good to talk to the girls' friends. And so we jumped on, we decided on a Friday, recorded on a Sunday, and got them out there. So
yeah. So what is your process? Like, content creator to content creator. Like, do you guys like have like a master list of like, all right, this episode 7 is going to be about this, episode 10 is going to be about this? Like, what's the process? Like, what's going on there? How do you package, the product?
Packages. We do talk about packages quite a bit. So as Mad said, we have been basically kind of, anytime something would happen, we've had a Google Doc going around for the last 2 years of ideas and stuff that was going on. And like she said, kind of funny names for the different chapters and stuff. And so sometimes it's a surprise. Sometimes at the end of one episode, we're like, what are we going to talk about next? But we have pages of stuff that has happened that we think would be funny, some relatable, some not as relatable. So that's kind of our process. We kind of chat about like what the topic is going to be. We already had some chapters written down, but some are also, it's kind of ongoing. The whole idea behind it is it's separation, divorce, and moving on. So the moving on is always ever changing for, I think, all three of us.
Definitely.
I can see that. So what has like the hustle for listeners been like?
What do you mean?
Like,
how are we finding them?
Sort of. So like you've made, you put a product out there, right? And it's like the people aren't just going to click on and listen. Like, how are you getting the word out? Like, hey, girl gang here, let's go. Assemble.
So we've got a lot of different platforms that we use on social media. So we're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, and we are on, we have email through Gmail, obviously, at Wasband Recovery at gmail.com. But it's mainly word of mouth.
You see that subtle plug there?
Right. I peeped it.
I'm like, we'll get there. Don't worry, we'll get there.
It's mostly word of mouth, but it's a little tricky. So Norah, Madelyn, and Reese are not our real names. We say that we are trying to protect our identities to a point. So, we want to keep things chill as much as possible. So it's been a little tricky, I think, for some of us, because we do, like, a lot of people have known kind of what we're going through, and they think it's fun that we're doing the podcast. So they tell their friends, but obviously we're not going to promote it on our personal stuff because we don't want some of those that are close to us to be able to listen to it, just for, safety's sake. So it's been a little tricky. So to a point, what we're doing is kind of telling, our friends are giving it a listen, colleagues and that kind of stuff, I think is probably mainly how we've gotten the majority of it.
Okay.
What do you think,
Yeah,
Vance? Is there anybody else that I'm missing?
Yeah, I've shared just with people like that I'm close enough with where I know they'll keep my anonymity, but they are also in other states, and told them to share, and they have a bit, so it's spreading kind of that way.
Do you ever feel what is the word I'm looking for? Not bad.
Guilty?
Guilty. Yeah, about if the Wasbands listen to it. Because I listened to your latest episode, and honestly, I felt bad for the Wasbands.
Which episode was that, Matt?
The ones with the cock episode.
Okay.
And they came up with all the different names for the penis and everything.
Somebody was like their husband had a micro penis. Was that
Yeah,
Reese?
yeah.
Okay.
Just Reese. I mean, there are parts I think that we do feel slightly guilty about.
Okay. So YouTube people, you can't see this, but Norah just put her little tiny little fingers together, like to show small dicks, and I'm like, oh, okay.
That's how we're gonna play it. I mean, we do feel a little guilty, but at the same time, it's all the reality, and it's all for fun.
It is. We
get it.
joke around a lot, and honestly, I haven't said anything that I think he'd really have a problem with. It's been true. He doesn't have the dick problem that the other ladies' husbands had, so I didn't say anything
in all
about
fairness, in all fairness, I've listened to some episodes as well, and from what I recall, Nora's husband's issue wasn't anything about the size of his dick. It's just where he was putting it. From what I recall.
Right.
That was a large portion of our issues, in fact, were where the dick was being placed. Not in fact the size or the girth, for that matter. So
where was he putting it at?
Other people's
everywhere.
asses, I think. That was mainly.
Oh wait, damn! We just see, and that's my thing. So like the one of the episodes I listened to, she just put it out there. She's like,
oh
yeah, my motherfucking ex-husband was gay, and I was like, whoa, wait a minute, wait, what?
Oh, we go all in. This is the thing. I have been told, because we checked first by some legal folks that I know, that it's only considered defamation if it's a lie. And so thus far, everything that we have stated is in fact true. So that's how this works. And so I'm certain my husband would be, I mean, he's unhappy with everything that I say, whether it's positive or negative. So I don't feel that guilty. If I felt, I mean, there are times that I like catch myself and I'm like, I'm sure he'd hate that if I said it out loud. But at the same time, it's because he hated most things that I say. That's
fair enough.
Him. He's
all right, so hopping on the call, we've got Reese. How you doing, miss? Oh wait, can you hear me? No.
Yes, I was. Hi, I was running through my house from my kitchen to my living room because I had to get my wine. I'm great. How are you?
Good. Welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're literally out of breath coming in here.
I am. I came in hot.
We're actually tracking you, Reese, and I noticed. I said her little dot is moving at a high rate of speed at this juncture.
Did you see? I was motivated, and of course, the one night I had somewhere to be.
Yeah, this is when we schedule this.
This is when games were running 30 minutes behind today. So I'm here.
Okay, so I've got a Reese and Madelyn question because you ladies, from what I understand, you guys are kind of inked up.
Mhm.
And I was curious, is that a result of like, I'm divorced now, this body is now a canvas, or were you like getting tattoos like while you were married and then like, spill over?
Well,
Go ahead,
ahead,
Reese.
Matt. Oh, jeez.
This
Tell we're
is what happens
sisters.
with sisters. Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say, Madeline got the first tattoo. I vividly remember
Me too.
because I believe I was still in high school. And
Probably, yeah.
and our mom cried. And I just remember feeling so bad for you and thinking then shortly after, like, well, now I can get mine and I'm good because she did it first.
Yeah. And
but
not
no.
only did she cry, she said something really nasty, which I don't know. Do you remember what she said?
I remember her saying something about like how you're gonna look walking down the aisle at your wedding or something, right?
Yeah. Yep.
You're like, what, 18? She's saying this to you?
No, I was 20.
Oh,
And
okay.
yeah.
That
Or
makes it
21.
better.
I was
Okay,
21.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Not very
It was not nice.
No.
But no, so that was early. I got my first one when I was 19. No, it was more of I got them. Actually, funny story. First one when I was 19, when my husband and I started dating, he obviously knew I had that one, and he called me in a joking way, but called me trash, said it was
Whoa.
trashy,
Whoa.
and that
and you still married this man.
I know. The red flags were there, obviously.
They look like, they look like, go.
Yeah. I was colorblind. I thought they were green. So, but he said that they were trashy and he would never, ever, ever get a tattoo. Well, then I got them here and there, and Madelyn and I we would go get them together. We have matching tattoos. Our dad was tattooed, and he would always tell us they're kind of addicting. In the statistics of people who have one or who have two and three, it goes higher and higher and higher, that you just get more. And then my husband now has several several tattoos. His arms are covered with them, and it just makes me laugh because it's not because he wanted them, it's because I wanted them. And I had always said, if in my job, I didn't think it was appropriate for me to have ones that showed as much, I guess.
Okay, so no face tattoos.
Well, I mean, as a general rule, I think that's probably a good idea for my job. But so then honestly, I think it wasn't something he was interested in at all. And I think that's why he did it more as a, like, look what I can do and you can't type of thing.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. But I remember the last couple, Madelyn and I went together and I came home with him. And that was the first time I ever did anything without telling him. Came home with him. And he was upset. Like, well, when were you going to do that? I didn't know you were going to do that. And that was like one of the first decisions I made was my last couple, because I decided it didn't matter and I didn't have to run things past him anymore. So
yeah, I had gone with my husband before we were married, while we were dating, to get my first one. He had a few here and there. And then by the time I was ready to start getting more, and when I had gone with Reese, we were so estranged that I would have tattoos, new ones, and he wouldn't notice until they were healed, and it was 6 months later. And now I have 2 half sleeves, and just went, actually a couple days ago, I didn't even tell Reese this yet, but went to put a deposit down for more. So
well, what the hell? Why don't you invite me?
You can come anytime.
So, like,
but you have to let me know you're going.
There's still time. Go talk to him. I got a date.
What is happening on those sleeves? Like, I kind of noticed it when you brought your arm up.
Yeah, we got a lot happening. This is my blank space that'll be filled in. But,
makes sense. Like, well, for the audio listeners, what's happening?
Right. So
I was gonna say nobody can hear.
I know. That's showing them.
Thing.
So I've got I've got flowers. I have feathers. I have a Alice in Wonderland tattoo, some Star Wars, some Twin Peaks.
Hold on, roll back. What Star Wars?
I have an X-Wing and a TIE fighter, and they're flying in space with my kids' birth constellations.
That's cool.
Oh, wow.
That is really fucking cool.
And then my favorite movie is Arsenic and Old Lace. So I have that movie takes place on Halloween. So I have a jack-o'-lantern with a bottle of arsenic. And
wait, isn't that from the 40s?
It is. It is.
Okay, I was like, hold up. I need to be fired from this podcast if I don't know a little bit about a little bit.
Nice work.
Yeah, good job. Yeah, and then I have
Um,
my matching one with
with your
with
sister.
Reese, which is an arrow.
That one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you have a dope ass sleeve too?
Me?
Mhm.
No, I want one. I've wanted one forever. And my only problem is I have an awareness of the fact that I'm not, I don't want to be impulsive. I want to plan. And sometimes I'm not good at waiting for things. So I'm trying really hard to plan it first.
Okay.
So I will. I just haven't figured out because you only have 2 arms.
I mean, but you also have 2 legs.
True. And I have my feet tattooed already.
Oh,
I don't know if I would do my legs. I'm not
Why-
opposed to it, but
why not? Do you not wear
don't
shorts during
know.
the summer?
I do.
And there you go.
I do. Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like personal opinion. I think my feet are enough. And then I would do my arms. I would do both arms. I would do my
Right.
back. I would do my entire back before I would do my legs, probably. I don't know why.
Interesting.
Yeah. The feet hurt like a son of a bitch, I will tell you. Top of your feet, most painful spot.
Well, and those also come off much quicker too because of the
The
rubbing with shoes
sun
and
and the
socks
rubbing
and things
and the
like that.
Mine
Mhm.
look pretty good. I've had
Mm.
them recolored. One is they're my kids' names on my feet. So one is 12 and one is 8 years old, but they look pretty good considering.
So, Nora, where are you at with these tattoos?
So I am not great with pulling the trigger with things. And I think that's so I have been thinking about a tattoo for, well, since before my husband was my husband. We talked about getting tattoos together at one point, and I could never come up with something that I really liked, that I knew where it was going to be and what it was going to look like. And so in the last couple of years, I have had kind of a vision swirling. And I don't have any tattoos currently. So, but I am thinking of one, and I still have to I'm actually going to wait and make Reese come up with a little bit of an idea, because I have
Oh,
some ideas
Ooh.
with my kids' birth flowers and that kind of stuff, and a tree and some colors and things like that. Probably
Hey,
on my forearm.
a fuck you tree?
I thought you were gonna say
It is
your
gonna be a fuck you
forehead.
tree. That
I
would
was
be
like,
amazing.
that's a bold first tattoo.
What did you think I was gonna do?
Forehead. I thought you were
Forehead.
going with
Oh,
forehead.
yeah, right across here.
On my forehead.
Right on my
I mean, if you're
forehead.
gonna do it,
I
go
mean, I
big
do
or
say
go
to my kids all the time, does it say stupid across my forehead? Maybe I
It
should
should.
put it on there. And then they're like, yeah, it does.
There you go. Funny story. We have a couple of friends that we know that they had been married, but then the husband decided he wanted to go get his wedding ring tattooed because his line of work, he couldn't wear his ring all the time, and
Mhm.
he said, I'm gonna get my ring tattooed on. So he went and did that, and told his wife. She was aware, and then the next week she told him she wanted a divorce.
Oh,
Just
shit.
Yeah. I was like, ooh. I mean, a heads up would have been
could have been
cool.
useful. Like, yeah.
I mean,
like a
even
week or two
subtle.
ago,
Even if you don't want to tell him that you want a divorce, maybe just hold off on the tattoo for now.
do you think
and
maybe
make something
she
up.
didn't like the tattooed ring that much, that she was like, that's it, I'm out.
That's
Forget
it.
it.
You know
The
what?
last
That's the
straw.
last
Too
straw.
far.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
A bridge
You
too far,
motherfucker.
sir.
That's right.
Oh, I just
Yeah,
figured
my-
That's funny
my
because I
husband-
just said that. I'm gonna get a tattooed ring. I'm gonna take mine off.
Oh yeah.
You
So
really
now I'm kind of
should,
scared
man.
now.
No, you
You
really
should.
should.
So I think it's a great idea. I personally would love that. I'm not a very girly girl, and I'm very active, and a ring would get caught on things. So I think if I get remarried, I would totally do that. And I
You
think
do wear a fair amount of rings, like on the regs,
and I don't really anymore.
don't you?
No,
You
mm-mm.
used to.
No, I'm afraid of getting them caught on things now.
That
so
was
I
the old
don't.
days when she had a husband.
Yeah,
Right.
that was
She's
when
a new woman now.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So
my husband had a tattoo of my name on his chest.
that was
Oh,
Mhm.
nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
things to never
which
do.
I always felt bad, but he got it covered. It was my name and a heart, and now it is a very large dragon. But the
Ooh,
way
that
I found
sounds
out
dope
about
as
it, I mean,
does
shit.
does it also represent you though? Is it
I think
still
it might. I think it might. And even though I don't think I was that bad, but it's funny because he was still living in the house while he got it. I had no idea that he got it. But the way I found out was I saw a before and after picture on their Instagram. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. I know that guy. Yeah.
I know that,
That was fun.
Chess.
It's my
Was this
name.
before or after the divorce had been initiated, Mads?
It was after. Yes.
Okay,
Oh,
just checking. 'Cause
good.
that
That
would have
would've
really
been-
been a sign.
Right.
That, I mean, that should be a sign. Like,
Yes.
hey, wait a minute.
So, Madelyn, you have the oldest kids of the other women on the show.
I do.
And on the most recent episode, you mentioned that they still lived at home.
They do.
How is dating with adult children hanging around?
It's okay. My
Sorry.
my
I'm sorry.
my son
Thinking
is
of my
yeah,
of
my
your-
son
my
is
niece.
very easygoing. He's happy. He's welcoming. They're both like that. They, as long as I'm being treated well, they're happy, they're supportive. My daughter is very picky. She tends to, I will say, she doesn't like anyone, which is mostly true. She really doesn't like anyone.
Sounds like my daughter.
Yeah, so it's it's okay, but they're good. I've had overnight guests at the house. They're okay with it because they're adults. There's no reason to have to hide or do anything, and it's nice because I feel more free and relaxed, and I think that they've seen me happy for the first time in my life. So there's
Shit.
that's
All right.
that's a
We
big thing.
we swiping? We swiping?
No. I was
I
actually
don't give a shit. I don't know that, man. I'm just saying.
yeah, no, it's people that I've known through friends or I've met. So yeah, and nothing spontaneous or random for sure.
We're going to
But
refer to
from-
them going forward as just safe dick.
Yes,
gotta
okay.
have-
Yes.
This is my.
Mhm.
I just learned
Oh,
this
I
term
see.
today. We're gonna discuss at some point. But yes,
I've
it's
never
safe dick.
heard of that term, safe.
I
dick.
hadn't either.
So
is
this
any
is
dick really safe?
so this
Well, no.
This is dick. This
It
is
was a
dick
fast
this is
answer.
dick that has been vetted.
Yes.
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 I
Exactly.
see.
Vetted, not petted. I mean, maybe petted too, but definitely vetted.
From my
Okay.
perspective with Madelyn's kids, yeah, her son is just he likes everybody. He's fine. He doesn't care. Very laid back. My niece, her daughter, is very much like me. And so things she says, I feel like she's very, from my perspective at least, she's going to speak her mind, but she
Mhm.
does it in a respectful way.
Yes.
She'll let her feelings known, but it's more about her feelings and not saying like, that I don't like him for you, or this, she'll say, well, I don't like this about him, or
Yes.
this bugs me.
Yes.
So I like that about her. She's not going to hold it in.
Right. Exactly. You know where you stand.
Mhm.
Also, my son's girlfriend basically lives with us. She's here.
Oh, it's
quite
that
a
kind of
bit.
fucking party too? Oh shit.
Yeah.
So like when you have like your overnight guests, are you like, all right, guys, time to plug in those headphones I gave y'all?
No, not necessarily.
Just a scrunchie on the doorknob.
No, I'm just saying,
well, and
from
we've always
who knows
had
where the audio levels are gonna be,
right. Well,
True.
you do have to be quiet. So that's
Then
yeah.
how much
out.
fun are you really having?
I'm
Well,
out.
yeah,
Not
it's-
enough.
And you turn the TV up, and usually, my son's TV is way up, and
You got
yeah,
the white
it's-
noise machine. You got
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Get the fan going.
All the
figure
water's
we don't
running.
hear things happening.
Turn the
in
shower
the
on.
house. Yeah, that we're okay-ish. So,
Okay.
and again, we're all adults. I mean, there's a level of, not embarrassment even, but just it is what it is. We're adults. We all know what's happening.
Fair
So,
enough. Fair enough.
yeah.
Last thing. So at this point, do any of you see yourselves remarrying? And also, what does marriage mean to you now that you guys have seen it from all sides?
I will say that if you asked me this, well, I was just separated when the husband was living in my basement, that I would have said no. I would have no interest in remarrying, because I wasn't sure if I'd ever find somebody that I would that I'd like enough, and that they like me enough. And I think that's all I want. The goal is to find somebody who likes me as much as I like them, and that we're actually friends, and that there's that mutual affection, but it's equal as possible. But yeah, and now I would like to, if I found the right person, I would absolutely get married. I want that. And I think maybe even just that do-over kind of thing, that second chance, or that to just do it right this time.
I get that. So what does marriage, like, what does it mean to you now?
Yeah, exactly that, I think, is just finding someone
Okay.
and liking each other enough, and being able to treat each other with love and respect, and a balance. I think that everything is better. I mean, in all things in my life, that there has to be a balance. You have to have your time together, and you have to have your time apart, and you have to share in some interests, but also be able to let the person be free enough to do their thing. And just have a good balance, but a true partnership, just that you actually really want to be with that person, and that you're friends.
That's fair. Matt, do you truly want to be with me?
It's a long pause.
No, I mean, I agree. That was
the answer doesn't have to be quick. I need time to think.
It shouldn't be something you think about, because she's like a partnership, and I'm like, this is a partnership,
But she said time together and time by myself.
This is our time together every week.
But sometimes I want to be by myself on a Sunday morning.
Hey, I would love to have my Saturday nights to myself. Do you know the things that I could be getting into on a Saturday night?
What, turning on the shower, the fan, and everything else?
Well, I can't comment on that right now. Reese, what about you?
Well, I'd have to say, I always say this to people, my sister's very much like me, just better, and puts things into better words. So I'm going to say ditto to Mads. But I would like to add, it's interesting talking to people, especially women who have been divorced, who a lot of them are like, hell no, never doing that again. I do not want to do this. And no, thank you. And I honestly, before I even told my husband that I wanted a divorce, I already was thinking about my future, and I always pictured it as getting remarried one day. It was not a doubt in my mind. That's what I wanted. I know it didn't give me that look.
You're not even out the fucking boiling pot when you're thinking about jumping back in.
Right, because we were so not on the same page. We were just coexisting. We lived as roommates. It wasn't the life I wanted, and I kept thinking, I want to do this, but I want to do it better. And I'm competitive. I'm a very competitive person. So I feel like I'm always wanting to improve myself. I'm always wanting to improve communication, and like Madelyn said, just a do-over. And I love having somebody. I'm a hopeless romantic.
You're sleepless in Seattle. I guess.
Yeah. I mean, our parents had a wonderful, loving, amazing relationship, and I grew up thinking that's what I want, and I did not get that. I thought that I was going to get that. It started off amazing, and then quickly turned into what I realized, it was not going to be that way. But I think, looking back now, I think I was young. I was kind of naive, and it was great, but not for the long term.
Mm-hmm.
Meant to be, not meant to last. It made me who I am now. But I also think, there is someone out there that, for me, who I would love to be with forever. And the funny thing is, I could never picture growing old with my husband. And I didn't know if that was just me. I don't know. Could any of you picture that when you first got married? Did you think about that far ahead?
I did
not
not.
at all.
why go through all that if you can't imagine the end game of you, on your, deathbed dying first because, men die first. And, just
But
knowing
why are
that.
you thinking about that though? Why would you be thinking I met this woman, she's the love of my life, but let me fast forward all the way to where I die at and be like, okay, that's the right person.
Okay, Matt, I don't want to bust you out in front of company, but don't fuck me up when I'm doing a joke, all right?
Nah. See,
You
late.
also
you
don't worry,
the whole fucking blow up.
Right, exactly. Don't worry, Reese. I got you. You like, oh yeah, how you gonna do, Chad? When you go shopping for shoes, are you wearing shoes or are you going barefoot? See,
What?
Thank you.
Reese gets it. See, yes. She already knew that she wanted some new pair of shoes. Why would she go barefoot?
Maybe she needs to air out her feet.
It might
No.
be smelly. It's true.
But also that would be very uncomfortable and sometimes painful. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to stick with these old shoes for a little while longer.
Right, till I get some better ones. And then she realized, never mind, I don't like these shoes at all. I'd rather just go barefoot right now. See?
Exactly.
I got it.
And then when I'm ready to go barefoot, I take the shoes off. I go barefoot until then I can move on to something better,
See?
more comfortable, more fashionable.
Maybe something with a slight heel or maybe a wedge. I don't know.
Yeah.
An open toe, maybe.
Okay.
Crazy.
That's totally where Matt was going with it. I could tell. I
Yes,
could
yes,
tell.
yes.
Uh-huh. So yes, I want to get remarried. And I mean, some people would think, well, you're crazy. You just went through this awful divorce. And no, because that's what I want. So
I have a friend who is going through a divorce and everything, and they were saying like he plans to get remarried and stuff, but the good thing about it is, like you guys said, do-over, to where all the stuff not to do and what you should do and things like that the second time around type of thing.
exactly. And I think a
So
lot
you
of
said
it,
he's single, Matt? I'm just kidding.
As of right now, yes. Yes. He is.
wait, I'm
Sorry. I got distracted.
and that
Ready
for
to pounce,
me,
huh?
and that's the thing too, is again that competitive piece and the doing it right and making the changes and knowing what went wrong. For me, I think exactly what Madelyn said. Someone who likes me as much as I like them, cares about me, wants to care. Do just someone to love each other and have a real partnership, a teammate. You're on the same page. It's just you're together. And I didn't feel that. I felt very alone in my marriage for a long time, and I didn't like that feeling. Even though I was married, I never really felt that partnership. So that's what I want. That's what I would change. And someone who will communicate.
So a
and-
woman?
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
well,
so
I mean,
woman.
Maybe.
maybe. I mean, it's not off the table, but
Boobs are nice. What do you want?
yeah, actually, side note, where I just went to my son's hockey game, and my husband was there with his girlfriend and her 2 kids, and his girlfriend told me that my daughter had said something that I said, and my girlfriend's daughter said, "Oh, my mom says the same thing." So now the 2 girls, my daughter and her daughter, said, "Well, maybe our moms should get married because they seem like they're a lot alike."
Nice.
Telling you could braid her
then
hair.
We
You
could
guys
be
could get it
sisters,
done.
right? And they go, and then we could be sisters. And I said, "Did it not dawn on them that if you and my husband got married, that they would still be sisters?" And they go, she says, "Yeah, but that does not make sense to them. It's much more logical because we get along well and we are similar, that we should get married." And I said, "Well, you know what? If it doesn't work out between the 2 of you and I'm still single, give me a call. We'll see what happens."
That'd be like the ultimate revenge of
That
like you
Oh my
literally
gosh.
steal your ex's girl.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Uh-huh. That would be
Beautiful.
That would be
amazing.
amazing.
Oh,
That would be amazing. I love it. I thought you were gonna say because she and I get along better than he and her do.
honestly, we do. I think we
Mhm.
probably do.
You
Yeah.
probably do. Conquer the
Nora,
world.
what are your thoughts on all this? Like, maybe are you the only rational one of the 3?
Probably because I say fuck no. This was such a shit show for me. And I mean, like, perhaps y'all that are listening to this should listen to our pod and maybe you'll understand. Madelyn's divorce took like 2 weeks. Reese's divorce, what, like a year?
It's funny. I was just actually telling somebody this
Took
tonight.
9 months.
I said we're like the Goldilocks and the Three Bears.
We are.
I think
Yeah, I
mine-
got like Papa
it was
Bear
about
on
a year.
steroids. Yeah. Mine's like a year and a half from start to finishing with the divorce, but I've already been back to court with him once, and he's already, as of this week, threatening to take me back again. So it's one of those things that, like, this is a fucking shit show. It's awful. So it's not that I don't want to be with someone. I mean, like right now, I can't like be committed to anybody because there's just so much like chaos going around. But I mean, like I see myself with someone eventually. I don't know about ever getting married. And at this point, I don't want to share my shit. That's my biggest thing. Like the bathroom is all mine. The closet is all mine.
I do
I don't
enjoy
wanna
the closet.
Deal
That
with
is
other
nice.
right? I don't want to deal with other people's shit. It's love. I mean, like I might give them a drawer. That's about all they get. Maybe some fruit snacks on the side. I mean, like, I don't know.
And I think I like the closet, but I could like, maybe he'd bring an armoire with him and he could, store his
Have
stuff
his
in
own
that. Like,
space.
yeah.
Right.
But you know what's funny? My closet right now, I just walked in there. I still have empty shelf space. Like it's reserved almost. I mean, that's not why.
Oh no.
She
You
is
gotta
ready
fill
to
that
go.
shit up,
Uh-huh.
Reese. Fill it up.
Yeah.
She's
I just
leaving
moved-
her heart open.
I moved one shirt over to the one shelf.
I would totally do that.
Mhm.
No, sorry, the seat's taken.
Mm.
So, Nora, you've been watching the Apple TV Plus original series Shrinking?
Yes. Okay, so I saw it. So obviously, like I'm always watching like Ted Lasso. Like that's our like my Wednesday. I don't always watch it on Wednesday. I do try to keep up with Ted Lasso, and it showed up, and it was interesting because of, well, first of all, Harrison Ford's in it.
Love
And,
him. And he's what I aspire to be, just minus the
grumpy old
high.
man?
Yeah, minus high all the time. But like he was grumpy when he was like my age. Like he's just a not nice person.
Right.
Is he? Wait, Harrison Ford is high all the time?
He's a big stoner.
Oh, I did not know
Oh,
that.
I had no idea.
Why you think he always crashing his fucking plane?
Oh, well,
Yeah.
I
That
mean,
tracks. That tracks. I guess I didn't
Hmm.
realize that.
But no, he's
So wait a
very
minute.
sarcastic.
but he.
He is sarcastic, but I thought it was just a dry sense of humor. I didn't know it was because he was stoned.
Well, no,
But wait, he's
those
also
are two different
mean.
things. He's an
Oh.
asshole.
So why do you want? Which part of him do you want to be like? You want to be
All of
an?
them.
Oh.
Oh, wait. Well, here's the question. How much of this show have you listened to?
I was just about to say that Chad's always an asshole.
Well, yes, but I mean, I didn't know that was
Yes,
the goal.
but it's-
I mean,
Well, yes.
She thought
I
this
didn't know
was a
that's what you were
self-improvement
going
show.
for.
Right. He wears it
Okay.
like a badge of honor.
Oh, okay, gotcha. That's sorry. Now that
Lord.
we got that cleared up. Sorry, Nora. Shrinking.
That's okay. Shrinking. So yeah, it's basically the story behind some therapists that are obviously super fucked up, and who, I mean, of course that's a fun show because everybody always thinks their therapists have their shit together and they don't. So I thought it was kind of just a funny premise. And I watched the first like 3 episodes, and I swear something must have glitched in my Apple TV and I didn't think I could get it anymore. And so I was super sad because it was like, I mean, completely unrealistic shit, but like it's funny, and there's a lot of like not okay things that are happening with boundaries and stuff, but it's kind of like a train wreck. You can't look away. And it really does, I don't know. I was able to go back on last night and realize that I could continue to watch it, even though Apple was giving me an error saying I had to pay another $7 a month or something. But now I can watch it. And so I was binging it again today, and I am all in, and I'm going to tell people. And this is where so there was an episode about how the one woman screwed her coworker because she was going through a divorce, and she referred to it as safe dick because
Okay, so saying you screwed a coworker doesn't sound like they had sex. That sounds like
Oh.
she like fucked him over.
sorry, no, she actually fucked him. not fucked him. I mean, maybe it was over and maybe under. I don't really know. I mean, they didn't show all of it, but
They showed
all that
enough.
to say they showed enough to know that there was some fucking happening. And so she referred to him as safe dick, and she explained that safe dick is like somebody that you know that like isn't that much of like there's no strings attached, there's no like emotional connection, it's just sex. And so that's considered safe dick, which I appreciate that term. I'm going to use it.
Could
I think
ask a
sometimes
question?
it's to me or to someone else.
The class.
The class.
Okay.
Safe dick, is there such a thing with no
Well, no,
emotional
you
connection?
should yes.
There he is.
I think you can have sex without having an emotional connection.
I cannot.
I don't think I could either. I've never have been able to.
No, I know myself and I cannot.
Unless the
Well-
emotional connection is just I'd like to have sex because I'm
Right.
horny.
So
Could that be
yeah,
emotional
that's what I was
connection?
gonna say. Like, define emotional.
No, I have to like you a lot.
So do you know what that's actually called, Reese?
No, like a problem, I'm sure. I
Well,
probably
yes,
probably need a
but
therapist.
For some
you-
people,
that means
well,
that
yes,
you are demisexual.
demisexual. Mhm.
Demi. Oh God, now I have to
Demi.
Google that. Jesus.
No, you can't. You cannot have sex with someone without an emotional connection.
Nice. That is accurate.
Yeah.
Is that a bad thing? What are you going to say about me? Somebody analyze me. Analyze me. Or annualize me. I'm not sure what was coming out of my.
I didn't know. Oh, so you into
That's
that?
on the
huh?
table apparently.
Right.
Average
Yeah,
size.
Matt.
I mean,
can
I'm attracted to people.
Mhm.
I am sexually attracted to people. I just know that I think I just get attached.
You wouldn't use sex as an icebreaker, is what you're telling me?
Nice to meet you.
Um,
Here's my vulva.
See,
I mean, I probably could, but I would be devastated if there wasn't another a second encounter
second encounter.
That's why you got to give your all in. Give your all
in
in
the
it.
first.
Yeah. Leave on one and more.
True.
Matt, could you? Yeah, I know you've been married for a minute, but like back in the day, could you have sex with somebody without like feelings?
Of course. I mean, as long as, yeah. I would say as long as I find them attractive, but I've
Yeah, you don't always
had
need
sex
that.
with, I have sex with women who I did find attractive. It was just, that was available to me at the time.
Yeah.
So yes, you can do it. I mean, sure, you will have
can do it?
more fun. I don't know if you have more fun, but I think that if you are attracted to them or emotionally or whatever, you probably have more fun.
Yeah. But also, like, you could take out some of that. Since I don't care about you, I don't care about you during this, if you get what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
And some
Depends on
people
if-
into
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Well, so
Yeah.
I think it's not necessarily like, I don't know. I consider safe dick something like, I'm not going to have sex with you if I think that you're a complete asshole. Or if I think that like,
So you're saying you don't want to have sex with me because I'm a complete asshole?
apparently so. So, I mean, sorry, Chad.
That's fine. That's fine. Plenty of people on this podcast have said
That's
they didn't
right.
want to have sex with me. So it's okay.
Sorry, Chad.
Hmm.
It's going to turn into Chad's therapy session. So but that's the thing. Like, I think that you have to feel warmly towards someone. I'm not saying like completely like absent, but like not wanting something further and like both being on the same page with like this is just like, we are kind to each other. Like, this is a nice person, but like, I don't want this to be leading into like a future relationship. It's just kind of, it's safe. I am like slightly attracted to you, but not really interested in like pursuing like long-term relationship.
Yeah, and maybe the difference because I'm on the same page as Reese, is that
You're
guess I'd be-
sisters.
well, that's too, but I'd be looking
True.
for a relationship. It's the same thing.
Mhm.
Like if I'm going on a date and I don't see, or there's a, at this point, if there's a red flag, if there's something where I'm thinking, yeah, this isn't my kind of person, nothing's going to happen, even if I am attracted to them, because I know that I don't want to see them again. Nothing. It's like, I might
not
as well
gonna
just
go
stop dating.
anywhere.
Yes, it's not
So
going to go
what's the
anywhere.
I think
point?
the sex would be amazing, Like, would you pass up like, and I know Reese, I'm gonna call your ass out on this shit because there have been a couple of people that we have talked about that you're like, I bet he's great in bed.
I have, but I would also want to keep him.
Until
Why?
you found somebody that wasn't a total douchebag. What if like
I'm not sure.
What if there was no one else
I'm
like
lost.
on the arena? It was just like, I just want to have sex just to try it, just to see how that's at. And I know
It's like
I've
a
done some vetting.
Sam's
I
or
know he has-
Costco sample. It's a sample. It's
It
a
is a
sample
sample.
dick.
and you sample. I mean, you'd wrap it, you'd be safe with it.
Okay, if I guess maybe if I went into it with that mentality of nothing's ever going to happen, this is
But I want to
just-
try this shit before I die. I'm
going to do this one thing one time.
Mhm.
Maybe. But I guess what my point is I couldn't do that multiple times and not want it to turn into a relationship.
Well,
It'd be like, okay, that was fun. High five, and then can never see you again.
well, what if
No,
that sex is
okay.
trash and now you've invested yourself into this whole fucking relationship where this dude is just it's trash. It's trash. He's a solid dude, but like this dick game is terrible. And you love this man when you could have had a sample at the beginning.
I mean, I'd sample at the beginning and then I could determine
You
where I'm going to go
just
from there.
said all this stuff about like I can't be having sex with people I'm not trying to make my second husband.
Right. So
It was more, I think that she's saying that there had to be some sort of feeling, like she could potentially see it going somewhere. She's hoping it would go somewhere. And if it's the second date, the third date, and it's trash, she might have to say,
Then no,
this
thank
isn't
you.
going to work out.
even
Okay.
if it's I think it's all areas. So if it's the sex that is bad, that's something that I would not be interested in then to continue. If it was his personality sucked or whatever, anything, those are all factors that I think would come into play. Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah, because
If
you're
you had-
hoping that it goes somewhere.
It's the whole package.
Yes.
I want
The package.
I want the package.
Oh, she wasn't here for that.
I want the whole package. Oh,
Were you
I
about
missed the
to say-
package.
I did. I referred to the package already. Yes.
What
Oh.
were you about to say, Matt?
So, let's see.
Oh, and I was gonna say, oh no, with the guy is great, but the sex was not good. Would you still stay with him and hoping that the sex would get better? Or vice versa. What if the sex is amazing and he's kind of an asshole? Would
He's
you
a
hope
bit of
that
a
he gets
Harrison
better?
Ford.
Okay, so it's
Yeah,
easier to
but
answer if the sex is great and he's an asshole. Nope, I'm done. If he's a great guy and the sex is just okay, I would give it some time and we can maybe, there could be coaching and we can work on that. But I think, again, I've done that. I've done the not great sex thing, but then he also turned into an asshole and then we stopped having sex. So it's all, I feel like it's a whole package. It's all factors that make, maybe I've had high standards. I don't know. I don't know.
You feel
I'm
how you
also
feel.
a firm believer in that if you have a good connection and a good relationship, the sex would be better.
Exactly.
So
I agree.
Yeah, I
So-
agree.
Norah is not
Commu-
buying that based on the
communication.
look on her
Right.
face. For me,
No one can
communication
see.
is huge. And this is,
Yes.
again, I'm going to go on a rant here for a second. With my marriage, and Norah and I were talking about this early today. Communication is huge. And I'm not afraid to say anything to Norah or Madelyn or any of my friends. Most of my friends I can talk to. In a relationship, I feel like sometimes that changes because in a new relationship, you start talking about all kinds of things and you're very open and you're telling your history and you're getting to know each other and everything is, you could talk about old relationships. You could talk about sexual experiences. As you get closer with that person, oh, excuse me. As you get closer and closer with that person, you start to care about their feelings more.
Yeah.
And then communication changes because maybe I say something to you that then hurts your feelings, or you took it the wrong way. Or once you're more into a relationship, you don't want to hear about the sexual partners that I had in the past, because now you're mine.
It depends.
It maybe, but maybe it's
See
like,
how much of a
oh,
voyeur
I
you
don't-
are.
I mean,
yes.
I mean,
You know, or and then sometimes, you know, you say something and you get a negative reaction, and then I would think, oh, I'm not going to say that again. And then you start to filter and you start to not say things because of the reaction that you got when you did say it. And then communication starts to slowly fall apart. And I think you have to have a conscious effort to keep that communication open and be open to hearing things that you may not want to hear, or to try to not get offended by things. And to me, the most important thing to me is to feel like I am understood. And I know Madelyn feels the same way. I cannot stand being misunderstood. And
Exactly.
I will sometimes, I know, talk things to death, because until I feel like I've communicated it clearly enough to you. So then I think if you can keep that communication open, and that is what makes me feel loved and comfortable and safe to say things and do things, and then the sex is going to be great because I have that comfort and feel safe and don't feel as vulnerable as I would if that wasn't there.
makes sense.
Reese is also
I
a
agree.
post-sex coacher, so she gets what she wants.
I
A
do.
post-sex culture.
We have, my current situation, it's fun. We have a pregame usually. There's like, there's a talk beforehand. It's very, I'm an
Like-
athlete, so I'm
Like
gonna
dirty
relax.
talk. Like, what do you mean?
It's like, hey, so what's planned for tonight? What are we gonna do? Where are we gonna go? I mean, not really a plan, but it's, some dirty talk, some of that,
Some guidelines.
leading up to it. Then
Okay.
it's, I mean, during there's conversation.
I mean, as there should be.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
And
there's
then,
a comedian and shit that comes out. I got you.
right. There's like the drum roll and the
Yeah,
symbol.
yeah.
And then there's, afterward, there's always the post game, and it's usually a little bit of conversation, but it usually comes later, and it might be the next day, and it's like, hey, what'd you think about when I did that thing? Did you like that? Or is that a waste of time? Should I not do that? It's amazing. And with my husband, we never ever spoke a word about sex, ever. And it was awful, because he didn't know what I liked. He didn't care about what I liked. He didn't want to try anything new. He didn't want to change anything. So
Yeah, so in that regard, specifically what you just said, like well, like your husband really didn't want to change anything up. And like from the people that I've talked to that are like in the whole I've never been married, but I want to be married. And you're having conversations about different things with them. And I'll ask them what I asked you earlier about, like, what if that sex is shit? And like a lot of times they'll come up with like, well, we can work on that. I'm like, yes and no. Like when you get to a certain point, motherfucker's not trying to do anything new. And I'm not saying that's good or bad. Well, it's bad. But it's like you're probably gonna be stuck with some shit dick. Let's go to Costco real quick and get a sample. But
I think
nah.
if you know that you have that communication early on,
Yeah.
and you keep it going, then that opens the door for the conversation about sex, and then you can work on it. But I agree. I feel like you have a short window, and if it doesn't happen at the beginning,
Yeah.
and they're not open to trying new things or talking about things, then it's not going to happen.
Right.
And if it's a short window, sometimes it's just not going to happen too.
So, Reese, you put Matthew McConaughey in the outline. What's going on here?
Of things I want to talk about. I mean, I always want to talk about Matthew McConaughey, first of all.
All right, I'm
I
listening.
mean, I
I'm
feel
all
like
ears.
I feel like if I have nothing to say and you say, "Hey, Reese, what do you want to talk about?" Matthew McConaughey.
All right.
So I've been teased recently because people apparently talk about him a lot. I mean, I've always enjoyed the man. He's I think he's a handsome fellow. I like him in general. I like his acting, but as a human being, I thoroughly enjoy him. I recently read, I'm going to say read in quotation marks. I don't read. This is one area my sister and I are very different. She reads and reads and reads and reads and reads. I can't focus long enough to actually read a book, so I listen to audiobooks. And even then I have to rewind because I was not paying attention. So but I try. And this is in his voice, and it's his book is called Green Lights. And it's just stories of his life in his voice. And it is so inspirational. And it made me think, I want to be more like Matthew McConaughey. And it's all about his perspective on life and how he sees these hiccups and these setbacks, and you have yellow lights and you have red lights, but then you have to realize that those are all going to turn green. And it's a sort of an everything happens for a reason, and life is happening for you and not to you. And it's really cool stories from him and from his childhood through adulthood, and just super inspirational. And it sounded so genuine. Just listening to it just made me so happy. So then recently, it was just last week, he has this it's called The Art of Living, and right now it's on I think it was through Facebook. Somebody sent it to me. It was
through the fan page. That might have been it too. Your Matthew McConaughey fan page.
Is there one? I don't know if there is one. There should be.
I thought you were like president.
Well, I mean, so the joke is when I'm at work, and I mentioned Matthew McConaughey, they want to, they say they're going to get me my coworkers are going to get me a bracelet, like with what would Jesus do, but what would Matthew McConaughey do?
That's funny.
But I just love his perspective on life and on things in general. So, so this Art of Living thing, it was like a 6-hour video that it was live. I watched pieces of it because I was working. It was like on a Monday. But it's still up there. I was able to watch, I think I almost finished it, but it was him and Tony Robbins and some other public speakers and it was just all about like, what do you want in your life and how to get past the how, or not worry about the how, but think about the what you want and the why you want it. And then from there you can get to the how. Now, of course, it was like selling. There's more that you can get, and it's like a class that you can sign up for. But even just watching this was just very inspirational and very, I think something that you just kind of need to hear once in a while. And it's funny because as I was thinking the other day, I mean, I listened to Green Lights, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago. But again, I was actually just thinking the other day, I want to listen to it again because it just makes me feel good. And then that's when this thing came up. But I would highly recommend it. It's funny because I don't recommend books to people because I don't read. So, but when I find a good one, I feel like I should pass it on, spread the word. So, and I would highly recommend the audiobook because I mean his voice is great anyway. But
yeah, I would listen to him talk about pretty much anything.
Anything. I really want him on. I have trouble sleeping. I would love to have him on some sort of sleep app, or just play his audiobook while I'm trying to fall asleep.
There you go.
Oh, I'd sleep like a baby.
So if he offered to have sex with you, would you just have? Not a question.
Everything else is out the window.
But
matter.
But here's the
Just
thing, Norah.
checking.
Here's the thing, Norah. She's in love with him already, so
That's
he's not a
true.
rando.
True.
He's not a safe dick. I'll tell you that right now.
Oh, he's
just
not
so you know.
safe. No,
He is
he would be locked in my basement.
Dirty.
He's not safe. He's not safe.
So, speaking of, Texas, which he hails from, what's going on with those cows? Madelyn?
Yes. So there are cows that are dying.
That's your job, Matt. I'm sorry.
Cows
you
that are
on top
dying
of it.
in Texas.
You got the good segue.
They're dying in Texas with body parts missing.
Wait, what?
So there's an article.
It's a
real
fucking
thing.
cow serial killer.
Yes. Yeah. That's what I think, because it's an article in USA Today. These cows are dying in Texas. with body parts missing. So they found a dead cow. The tongue was completely removed, like cleanly, like with surgical precision, and no blood spill. No tracks, no sign of a struggle. It was a 6-year-old cow, otherwise healthy. It was left to decay, so there weren't even any predators that went and like scavenged it and ate it. They just found it. There's been 5 similar incidents down the same stretch of highway in Texas. 2 of the cows had their genitalia and anuses removed, also with clean cuts. Same
sorry.
situation.
How do you remove an anus?
Well, I'm not exactly sure.
Sorry, I get stuck on details.
I read it and I would like more information as well. But same situation, no signs of a struggle, no disturbance of the grass around the area. And then there's been similar incidents, they said, across the country. And then to go further into it, there was a similar situation in the 70s. Thousands of cows were found dead, and they're mutilated in the same way. And then in 1980, the FBI closed the investigation because they didn't have leads. It was going nowhere, and they attributed it to common predators, which I don't know what predators would do that, and especially if there's no
highly trained,
and
educated, scalpel wielding
predators. Yes.
Coyotes with a scalpel? Is this
Right,
like beyond the Roadrunner situation?
and
Dr. Wile E. Coyote.
Dr.
Yeah,
Wiley.
it totally reminds me of something that you'd see in like the X-Files. I swear that as I was reading this, I'm like, was there an X-Files episode about this? Speculation had been that it was carrion bugs, which is just bugs that are eating. But again, I don't know that they would.
They'd notice that there were bugs.
Remove
They
an
would
anus
just-
specifically.
Exactly. Right.
And genitalia and then leave.
Right. Or people attacking to cause financial harm to the ranchers. But that also seems rather elaborate, and why
Very
the genitalia
specific.
and
And
the
the
tongues
tongue.
being removed.
Right.
Yeah. And then there was one farmer, and this is what I'm going with, is that he thought that it was a cult.
I mean, when you said it happened in the 70s, I thought of not Son of Sam. Who's the other one? The one in California with the sex cult.
Um,
Not
I
Koresh.
feel like I should know this.
He's the one that killed Roman Polanski's wife.
Oh, Manson?
Yeah.
Yes.
So what I
Yeah.
was thinking is someone's taking, yes, like you said, for like a sacrifice
Mhm.
of some sort to have multiple parts, or they're trying to Frankenstein a cow of their own to start
It's
a
just
ranch.
tongues, genitalia, and anuses.
I mean, those are the only parts you need. You hook
Right.
it's like Weird Science, put the bra on your head. And
Uh-huh.
there you go.
Yeah.
Reanimate.
I was
cow.
thinking aliens. Surely it's aliens.
Yeah. I had something. And now I just really want them to make a movie about this, or
I want them to
television
solve the
series.
crime because I can't stand
Yes.
unsolved mysteries.
yeah,
And now
that's
I'm not
true
going to be able to sleep at night, and I need Matthew McConaughey. Oh my golly.
She needs him in a different kind of way.
Mm.
True.
Well, speaking of obsessions, here we go. Matt.
Good job. Good job.
Thank you,
There's
thank
a
you.
show, Obsession, on Netflix. It's only 4 episodes. It is about a father who has sex with his son's fiance, and he becomes obsessed with her,
Ooh.
and they're doing it everywhere, anywhere.
Everywhere, everything, everywhere, all at once.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All the time. And it's not good, honestly.
Oh no.
The plot is the synopsis of it is good, so you want to know what's going to happen, but it's kind of like, if you're going to cheat with your son's fiance, you will do it in specific locations. You wouldn't just be doing it like a honeymoon. Whenever I see her, I'm doing this. And they're kind of just like out here doing it. Like they're at family dinner. He's with his wife, his daughter, and they're making googly eyes at each other, and it's just not
It's
good.
bad form.
But bad form, totally. If you're gonna do it the right way.
Right. You
but
get
I'm gonna
yourself
spoil
a
this.
hotel room, get yourself
Yes.
a burner phone.
a car somewhere. But basically what happens is because only 4 episodes, you can watch it if you want to. But
I mean,
the
you
son
sold it.
get
It's bad.
at the beginning, but now I'm about to undersell it. Well, no, then okay, I take that back. Then I won't spoil the ending of it. Then.
No, spoil this
Well,
bullshit.
No, go for it.
Okay, the son follows the dad,
Right.
and it turns out
Wait. Why wouldn't he follow his fiance? Why are you following your dad? That's weird.
because a situation happens where his dad told him something, and that the only person who's ever said that to him was his fiance. So he gets like, where did you learn that from? Type of thing. So he follows to the place, and he barges into the door, and he sees his dad fucking his fiance. So
Like,
then he like doggy style, and he like backs up, and of course he falls off a rail and fucking dies.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, the dad or the son?
The son dies.
Oh,
no.
that's so stupid.
So he's comforting his dead son, bloody, butt ass naked, and everything. And basically, his wife finds out. I guess he told the truth of exactly what happened. But then he still wanted to be with the fiance, even after all of this. And he told her, she was like, "Don't you feel bad? What happened?" He was like, "Well, now this gives us time that we can fully be together."
Right. If anybody should be feeling bad as him, that was his son. All right. You just the fiance. Now let's go.
Right. But it was a good synopsis. Good, but the execution poorly.
Did she stay with him?
No, at the very end, she leaves, and she was like, "I don't want to see you again."
This is a bridge too far.
But they did fuck again after the funeral, though. So,
Oh my gosh.
They're in mourning. It happens.
yes.
Oh boy.
Glad I can skip that one now.
Yeah. Chad, sorry, I was trying to think of a good segue.
Yeah,
but
I'm like, all right, what you got for me?
I'm like sex translation to soccer. Speaking of kicking it with your family, I was soccer club. No, that's not
that. That's cool. That's cool. I mean, technically, I did go with fam. I went with friend of the show, Rachel. We went to St. Louis has a I just learned this like before the show. We actually have a major league soccer team. I thought that they were like the step below major league, but they're actually major league. So they just started last year, like maybe September or whenever the season starts. But we got tickets because it was like a makeup game, and so like they were extremely reduced. So like we got like we were in the VIP pitch club, which everybody kept saying like they were the best seats in the house, and it felt very premium. Like as you guys know, I like to feel like I'm doing a little something out in these streets. Like. You go up in there and it's got like its own little private bar and food area. And when it's time to go out on to, go to your seats, like they open the door for you. And when you're walking out, like it's literally like you're about to walk out on the field. And like, we were so close, like we could hear like strategy from the coach and shit. There were some nice seats. And
where's this at?
It's downtown. So do you know where Cybergs is downtown? No. It's right by Union Station.
Okay.
It's in walking distance.
Okay.
But yeah, it was a good game. Unsoccer like we won 5-1. It's like you're not really supposed to have scores that high in soccer, but
Well, I'm basing my soccer knowledge off European. Did the crowd starts fires and shit like that?
No, we lame as shit in this country.
Yeah.
Now they did have like this is the first year we've had soccer, but these motherfuckers was hyped. It's like we went to a fucking hockey game. Like they over here got the shit painted on their chests and stuff, and doing the rah rah go St. Louis. I'm like, they knew they just got here, and y'all in this deep.
People are all in, man.
It
was very exciting.
It was something else. It was something else. It was a good time. I wouldn't go again unless I got like nice seats, because like we over here in our
the commoners.
We over here in our elitism corner, and you can hear like the poor people with that brought drums and stuff, and I'm looking like can't even afford a shirt. Gross.
That's exactly how I feel about movie theaters. Once I get some classy shit, I can't go back to this old stuff. Floor is sticky. What, I can't order food to my seat? You want me to get this myself?
Right. Excuse you.
No,
Right.
I might have to put my feet down from this kickback lounger that I've got going right now.
Right. If
Mm-mm.
this seat don't
Right.
recline like a bed, I don't want it.
Right.
Truth.
All right.
What's the name of them?
It's not a name. It's just St. Louis City Soccer Club.
Oh, that's whack. Okay.
Apparently, a lot of soccer teams don't have like names. It's just wherever the fuck you are.
Manchester United.
This
Which
is
is in
perfect.
which
I'm
is in
thinking,
Manchester.
Yeah.
I'm going
yeah.
all Ted Lasso on this. This is all I know about soccer.
Man City or Manchester City. Yeah.
Mm.
But yeah. So before we jump into the movie review, I wanted to ask: has anyone here been ghosted? We've all dated, or we're currently dating, and so I was just wondering, did anybody have like a ghosted story?
No, not me. Every woman who ever dated, they told me they was breaking up with me. there was no misinformation about it.
I don't want your ass.
We're like, we
Right.
done. I
Yeah,
had
no,
one guy that was a little bit sorry. Go ahead, Mans.
I was just gonna say, yeah, no, I have not, and yeah, I would be very sad if it did happen. It would really bother me.
You don't know that it's like a complete ghosting. I went out with this one guy, just like on an evening, like on a date, met him on an app or whatever. And we had a decent time, had, drinks, whatever. Seemed like a decent ending because at the end of the night, kind of talked a little bit about a second date. We talked the next morning and the next couple of days and then nothing. So I was like, I guess not. But I don't know if that's it's not the same as ghosting in this sense where multiple text messages and that kind of stuff that just go completely unanswered. So it wasn't like a complete ghosting, just
I mean, that
semi
sounds like
ghosted.
it.
It's like a spirit. I don't know, maybe not a full on ghost.
It pettered out.
Yeah.
So no, at no point did you send him a message like, "Hey, how's it going?" And he just didn't respond.
No.
Okay.
But have you ever ghosted anybody?
Ooh, flipping it on them. That's okay.
There was one guy, he had a bit of a foot fetish.
Oh, he would have loved Reese, right?
I know, right? He totally would have. She could have sold him some feet pics. Yeah, it was he seemed a little bit like a dork. I talked to him a little bit, and then he was gonna go out. He's like, "Oh, you should meet me for a drink." And then he sent me a picture. I think he was trying to be funny. He was a real big dork. And the picture he sent, I was like, "What?" And then I just stopped responding. Because I was like,
Was it
"No,
of
I
himself?
can't." It was of himself, but I was like, "Oh God, you really are a dork." And then I just left it.
You're very cold there, Nora.
Sorry, not sorry.
So yeah, I've been ghosted. I met a woman on an app, and we made plans to go out to this restaurant. And then maybe 2 or 3 hours before we were supposed to go out, she was like, "Oh, hey, I got called into work, and can we reschedule?" And I was like, "Yeah, okay." So we rescheduled for the next week. So next week comes around, it's let's say noon, and she's like, "Hey, I just want to make sure we're still good for tonight." And I was like, "Yeah, same time, same place. Cool. And so we were supposed to meet up at 7. So I get to the place at 6:50. And I'm just hanging around a little bit, and it's after 7, no word, I don't see her. And I'm like, okay, well, I mean, I like to be punctual, whatever. So it's 7:05, and so I shoot her a text. And I was like, "Hey, I'm here. You good?" 7:10, I send another text. "Hey, what's up?" So at 7:15, I call her, and it rings. It doesn't even go straight to voicemail. It just rings, and I'm like, okay. I'm not only am I being ghosted in real time here, I'm being stood up on this date too. So that's
Ouch.
cool.
I
Do you
picture
think,
you
she was
on those
dead?
TV shows.
What?
I wonder if she was dead. What if something happened, Chad? Now you're all shitting on her.
I saw her pop up on another dating app like months later.
That's not cool.
What's your question, Matt? Or
No,
comment?
I said I just picture you like on a TV, like a TV show where you're sitting there and like you get there and it's like the candle is lit, and then as you're waiting, the candle slowly gets down and down as you're waiting for your date to show up.
Yes.
Oh, like they're like, sir, we need this table.
Yes,
That's right.
you're like 5
I'm
more
gonna need to
minutes.
move you to the bed.
Reese, have you ever been ghosted, or have you ever ghosted someone?
I have not ghosted anybody. I don't think.
She just forgot to call him back.
I mean, odds are I tend to forget things. I dated somebody in high school, and he was wonderful. It was probably the one person I dated where it like ended well. It wasn't bad in any way. And he's a good guy. He went away to college and actually came and talked to me, had like an adult conversation, and then he left it as okay, well, I will call you later, maybe we can get together type of thing. This had been after some time that he went to college, came back, said something about like, calling me to get together while he was home, and then he didn't. But now I know I am a very matter of fact, if you tell me something, I believe that is true and that is going to happen. But then I never heard from him again. So I think it was probably
see you later. You really expect to see them later.
I mean, pretty much. I say what I mean and mean what I say. So I feel like everybody should do that. So I don't think, I think it was probably not so much being ghosted as it was he didn't really know how to walk away without saying something like that. He probably didn't, felt like he had to be nice or something. So that would be my experience with being ghosted. Also in high school, I was supposed to have a date with someone that I was open to the idea. I was nervous, but open to it. Norah, I don't know if you remember this. And I went to get a haircut, and I got the Rachel.
Oh, why are you dating yourself right now?
I know, and I hated it.
It was amazing. No, she did not like it.
So I canceled the date. I told him I made up some story like I had to go to my aunt's house or something because I couldn't just say I got a bad haircut. I don't want to go out with you, and then never spoke to him again.
You could have threw on a Blossom hat,
I could have.
It was the 90s.
Blossom, yes, it was.
Yeah. I don't remember you having a whole lot of hats in high school, though, Reese.
No, unless
you were not a hat girl.
No, unless it was a
baseball
hat.
cap, right?
Yeah. So that's that.
I do remember that story. It was great.
Well, that takes us to this week's discussion of Ghosted.
She really is great. You'll see.
Any word? She ghosted him.
I bet she isn't even seeing your text.
She does travel a lot for work.
Go to her.
I'm going to London.
Cole falls head over heels for Sadie, but then makes the shocking discovery that she's a secret agent. Before they can decide on a second date, Cole and Sadie are swept away on an international adventure to save the world. Before we actually talk about our thoughts on this movie, I want to ask, in the world of texting, does emoji stuff count as a text? Because according to the movie, Chris Evans' character sent her 7 messages with text, with an additional 4 text messages that were just emojis. 11 total, but he said that it only counts as 7 because if you send somebody an emoji, that's not really a text. So what's everyone's opinion on that?
I would say it's a text if it comes separately. Sometimes I text and then follow it immediately with an emoji. But they go hand in hand. I'd say that maybe counts as one. If I send it 5 minutes later and it's an emoji, I feel like that counts as a second text.
Okay. So it's more about the time span between?
Yes. In my personal opinion.
Okay.
Yeah, they count. I mean, I agree with Reese. If you do one right after that one, they could be considered as one, but Chad, me, I'm always about these emojis. So they count as text messages.
Yeah, I agree. No, I'm with you. Like if I think I can't remember. I think in Facebook messages it lumps them together. Like if I send you 3 messages, I think it would just say you have 1, right?
Yeah.
But
Oh, I
like
didn't know that.
but on iMessage, like each individual text message you send, like if I send you an emoji and then just some words, that's 2 text messages, and I'm with that. Like if my shit bing twice, you send me 2 fucking messages. But
That is correct.
I do get what Reese is saying though. Like,
But also, I think
it is in
sometimes,
addition to
right.
sometimes.
And sometimes I will send it separately because that way it's bigger.
Sometimes size does matter.
It
That's-
does.
that works
Sometimes it
separately.
says more. It's louder.
True.
All right, but I guess we're all generally around on the same page in our thought process on that. So I want to ask, this isn't normal for movie reviews. Show of hands, and I'll elaborate for our audio listeners. Who liked this movie? Show of hands. Oh my. Okay. All right. That's exactly. No, none of that. We got some like some kind of shaky hands. No. All right. I'm glad we're all on the same page. This movie is shit. All right. I don't
wait. Before we say negative things, the one positive I would say is I like the cameos in it. They were useless cameos, but I did like the cameos.
Yes,
Yeah,
I was
agree.
thinking the same thing.
Mhm.
You know, that goes back to what I was saying earlier. You know, we are a good partnership. We shouldn't open by shitting on this movie. You're right.
Correct.
Matt.
We always say that for last.
I agree.
I was stuck a little bit on the fact that is it Tate Donovan?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Was his
Me
dad.
too. Me too. I was
Because
like,
I couldn't get past it. I'm watching. I'm like going, wait a minute.
Yeah.
How old is he? And how old is really? Like I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't like that.
I mean, it makes some sense because I'm like, he's been in the game for a while, but I'm like, this just feels weird.
Yeah.
And he played a parent on the OC,
He did.
and that was over
Yes.
20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But it just felt weird where
It
he
was
was all like, "I'm your son, Chris Evans," and I'm like, "Aren't y'all the same age?" They aren't, but you know.
They seem close.
Any other positives?
I liked the guy.
Chris Evans?
No, I mean he was.
I
fine.
liked Chris Evans. He was
I
fine.
liked the guy. This is awful because I can't remember when they the guy
Adrian
with
Brody?
the longer curly hair.
Longer curly hair.
That
Oh,
with the mechanical hand.
The ex-boyfriend.
Yes,
Okay.
Oh,
I liked his character.
Yeah.
It was-
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I mean, he wasn't in there. You know, it wasn't a big role, but I liked him.
Mm-hmm.
I liked when they were on the bus and shooting, and there was like one scene that was very slow motion. Where
Oh,
you
the
saw, like,
spinning.
guys. Yeah,
Mhm.
I liked that.
So I like when they're like, okay, hey, here is a date, and it feels somewhat real. And so, like at the beginning when they were on the date, I was with it like mostly. Like, you know, once they actually started going out and looking at stuff and like his little weak ass like bet if I can beat you, get to the top of the stairs, da 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 da. I'm like, okay. My man got some of that razzle dazzle. Okay. But then like this is gonna shift into like a fucking alpha male type podcast shit where it's like I can't stand these fucking weak ass men that don't want to take initiative and shit. Like you literally had a 24-hour date with this woman and you're walking her to her door and you're like, I'm not saying like anybody's owed any sex, but like she spent a whole fucking day with you, my guy. You can't ask, hey, can I come in? Hey, I'm kind of tired. Can a brother get some coffee? Like you waiting on her to fucking make the first move, dude? What the fuck, bro?
Roles were reversed in this one.
Yeah.
Now I didn't know what the movie was about on purpose. I didn't watch or read anything. I just watched it.
You weren't gonna read anything anyway.
Well,
Let's
no,
be real.
I mean even
right?
if it's the little synopsis of what the movie's about, it's not happening. But I like to do that. I like to be surprised
Roll in
and
fresh.
not
Yeah.
know what's happening at all. So I think that beginning part with the date, like you said, it was okay because I didn't really know what was coming, and I remember thinking, okay, what's her deal? Like, why is she?
Mhm.
You know, what's going to happen here? But Yeah.
The part at the end when they were like in the top and it was spinning super fast,
that-
like
mhm.
Cajun cliffhanger style. I'm
Mhm.
like, this is not somebody's ass is gonna go flying right out those windows.
Yes.
Like,
Mhm.
and it made me a little nauseous just to watch because we used to do the spinny rides all the time. Like
Mhm.
that was one of Reese and my favorite things when we used to go to the theme park. Now I feel like I just watch it and I want to vomit a little bit.
Honestly, if I turn my head too fast these days,
It's true.
I get a little nauseous. But yeah, I thought the same thing, and I remember that with that part, it was cool.
It was.
But I kept thinking, and here's me just, I don't know if it's my age or what, but I'm thinking, there's no way that I would even have the capability of going that fast.
Yeah,
Mhm.
same. I was like,
Yep.
movie, I should be immersed in this stupid ass plot, but
Uh-huh.
no.
Yeah.
Any other final words? Because we're not going to get this bullshit any more of our time.
I mean, I would like to be trained like her.
Yes.
I'd like to just have the capability, not necessarily use it, but just know that I could.
Also, I think Chris Evans is hotter when he's a little dirty.
Yeah.
Aren't we
Right?
all?
Yeah.
No.
Snap, Matt. Snap. What do y'all think the Rotten Tomato score of this movie was?
Is it on a is it the
it's
percentage one? I'm sorry.
So yeah, 1 to 100.
30.
34.
45.
40.
Okay. So I watched this movie Sunday and I did movie prep Monday, podcast prep. And so the score has gone down since Monday.
Mm.
It currently sits at a 28%.
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah. 59%
because it's somewhat
audience
new.
score. But I mean, if it's shit, it's shit.
Is that the most lowest one we've done so far?
I'm pretty sure we've gotten close to single digits, maybe. We'd have to go in the archives.
Wow.
But it's possible. All right, so we're gonna play my new favorite game, Over Under. We are gonna start playing this game when we're doing streaming movies that are shit and we don't have any information on them. All right. So
I like games.
Over Under, I will make a statement with numbers in it. You will tell me with a thumbs up or thumbs down if the actual number is higher or lower than what I stated.
I feel like this is like The Price is Right.
Sure.
Mhm.
Principal photography for the movie took 3 months. Okay, so Reese is thumbs up, Madelyn's thumbs down, Norah's thumbs up, and Matt is thumbs up. The answer is 4 months, thumbs up. Chris Evans and Anna de Armas have worked together 2 times total.
Including this movie?
Yes. That's at total. Okay, so everyone's thumbs up except Reese. And the answer is they've worked together 3 times. Knives Out, The Gray Man, and Ghosted.
Wait a minute.
Only one of those movies is good.
Wait, what was the third? Knives Out, I saw. What was the other one?
The Gray Man, it was a Netflix original. It was shit.
Huh.
And now
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, that's
Who
yeah,
was she
yeah,
in
I
Knives
think what it
Out?
was.
Knives
The main
Out.
person.
Yeah, she was
Oh.
she's the main character.
Oh,
in Knives Out.
sorry. I just watched Glass Onion, so that's in my head.
Yeah.
I have to go back and watch Knives Out.
All right.
I'm sorry.
Last one. Scarlett Johansson was originally cast as the lead role. She was Anna de Armas, which would have marked a reunion with Chris Evans. However, she dropped out due to scheduling conflicts. Time of recording, they have appeared in 6 movies together. Higher or lower? Okay, I like this. It's split down the middle. So Matt and Madelyn are saying higher. Reese and Norah are saying lower. And this is I actually went in and manually counted this one because they've done a lot of Marvel movies together.
Right. I was trying to do the quick math of the Marvel movies.
That's
All right, so here we go. In order of release. Actually, I'm going to do reverse order. No. Yeah, reverse order. Yeah. We have Avengers Endgame 2019, Captain Marvel 2019, Avengers Infinity War 2018, Captain America Civil War 2016, Avengers Age of Ultron 2015, Captain America the Winter Soldier 2014, The Avengers 2012, The Nanny Diaries 2007, and their first movie together was a movie called The Perfect Score in 2004. The answer is 9.
Dang.
Wow.
So this would have been the 10th movie they would have been in together.
But real quick, if Scarlett Johansson played this, would this be better, the worse, or the same?
It would have been the same. It's the same fucking character she played in Marvel movies. And Anna de
Right.
Armas, this is the same fucking character she played in James Bond.
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally.
Like you could, in your head canon, you could say that that's the same fucking person. You could put those two movies in the same universe. My last question to you guys, we're not doing trivia dump for this piece of shit. My last question to you guys is, could this movie have been released in the theaters and done well?
No.
No.
You don't think the people would have found some bullshit for Chris Evans?
Yeah, I think it could have done well at the beginning, like opening weekend type of thing, because you can say Anna de Armas, Chris Evans, whoever, whatever. But I think once people get wind of the shit and then they know it, then it's gonna fall off like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
Agreed.
I agree.
All right. So ladies, can you please plug your podcast before we get on out of here?
I've had it, Mads.
Me.
Yeah, you.
Okay, so that's another question. Why are you? Yes, Madelyn does have a lovely voice for radio, but why
She
are y'all
does.
leaning on her so much?
She also has a lovely face for television. Let's not make it sound like she's
Oh, thanks.
hideous.
Oh,
No.
you got a face for radio, man.
She is a lovely woman, but no
Damn.
one's seen her face, for legal reasons. So, I wasn't even trying to put her out there like that.
She's the most. No,
She's
I don't know about
poised
the
when it
most.
comes to talk.
She
Oh,
is.
thanks.
I can't keep my thoughts straight, and so it's between the two of them usually.
Yeah, so if you want to hear more about our adventures in getting over our husbands, moving on from the separation and the divorce, you can listen to us on all of your favorite options for podcast listening. You can find us on Instagram at Wasband Recovery, on Facebook, Wasband Recovery. What else? On Twitter at Wasband Recovery. And if you would like to email us at wasbandrecovery@gmail.com.
Nicely
Thanks
done.
for having us on, guys.
Yeah, thank you. This is fun.
ladies. Yeah. And thank you so much for listening. Please rate, like, and review our podcast on your platform of choice. If you have any feedback, please email us at weusedtotalkpod@gmail.com, like our Facebook page. We used to talk about this at work, and follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok while it's legal in the US at We Used to Talk Pod. Follow me at BOW1213 on Letterboxd and Matt Mr. King 0257.
And like always, I don't know if this was a good episode. I don't know if it was a bad episode. But whatever you think about it, talk about it at work. Thank you for listening.